Good morning, project partners. Good morning, colleagues. We are very happy to welcome you at this second part of our seminar for implementation requirements for the third call for proposals projects. To remind you that the first part of the seminar took place last week, a week ago. During that seminar, we provided you with information about requirements of project lifecycle, general requirement of project implementation, with information about communication requirements, as well as with information how to introduce and handle changes in the project. Today, we will continue our content and we will concentrate more on project budget. We will introduce you with requirements for eligibility of costs, and we will inform you about different requirements for different project lines, budget lines for project. And also we will introduce you with basic information and general information regarding reporting and our electronic monitoring system of the program. We will continue also the approach which we had last week. For each this block of information, you will have a presentation where we will concentrate more on tips of good practices and how to avoid mistakes. After that, you will have possibility to ask questions and receive answers to your questions. And this block of information will be completed with a quiz on what you heard in presentations, so you could test yourself, test your knowledge of a specific topic. In the middle, after second item of agenda regarding budget lines, we will have 15 minutes comfort break, and another session for questions and answers will be at the end of the seminar, where you will have possibility to ask additional questions if they would arise, and also receive answers. If suddenly we will have too many questions and we will not have possibility to answer all of them, of course we will provide you with answers after the meeting. Also, to remind you that this seminar and also previous seminar are recorded, and you can see these records on link you received, yeah. You received before the meeting, and if something is unclear, you can always ask our JS team for support. Questions and answers will have to be asked in Slido.com platform, and Jānis, my colleague, will inform about this a bit later. So I think everything is very clear with the agenda, so I wish you very, very fruitful and interesting seminar today, and really to obtain a lot of new knowledge and really to make your work with project implementation easier and more straightforward and clear. So good luck, and thank you for information, and I give floor to my colleague Jānis now.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Zanda, for introduction. My name is Jānis Vanaks. I'm information manager for the program, and I will tell you how we are going to interact today. Unfortunately, due to safety restrictions, we are not able to meet us in person. So our interaction for today will be through Slido.com platform. You can join us in two ways. Firstly, you can use the link I sent to those of you who registered. The link was sent to you yesterday, so you just open the link. Or the second option is, if you haven't received the link, you type slido.com on your mobile device and enter the event code, which is 79777, and so you will be in. There are two tabs for slido.com. First is reserved for questions. Please be active and ask questions. After each session, your questions will be answered. And please keep other or more general questions for the question and answer session at the end of the webinar. And the second tab of Slido is reserved for our polls and quizzes. After each session, we will test your knowledge with quiz. Be active, be fast, because the best one will receive surprise gifts from us. So if you are the winner, just send us email with your address and we will send you a gift. It will ask you to register with your name. If you are shy, you can use some nickname or pseudonym, but we encourage you to register at least with your real name so we can identify you and you can get prizes. The quiz takes into account also how quick you are. So the more fast you answer, the best score you get. So the first warm-up activity for today, let's try at Slido, is I would like to invite you to answer a question. It's more like a statement. Why you are joining us this morning? What are your expectations from this webinar? I see two answers at the moment. One, what is meant by Katrina? Here you don't enter your name. Here you enter why. The question is, why you joined us today, what you expect from us today. Yeah, I see information, obvious. Repeat most useful info, yes, I hope we will. Refresh memory on rules, yes. Let's wait for some 20 answers. Budget lines. Information. Those words who are mentioned more frequently, those are bigger. So information, yes, it's quite obvious. We are not here so much for fun. What else do we have? To have more detailed info on what? Info on what? Repeat. Eligibility of costs. Let's wait for 9 more words. Learn how to make mistakes. What is, am I correct? Learn not to make mistakes, yes. Right. How to deal with costs. Financing schedule. Salary rates. I hope you will get answers to those questions today. If they are not answered during presentation, just ask us a question on Slido. Personnel costs. So we have several requests for staff costs. Let's wait 3 more words. budget lines is getting salary rates. All of you are very serious. Let's wait for 2 more words. Win all prizes. That's a good choice. If you listen carefully, that would be easy because answers to all questions will be within presentations. One more word. Tips for reporting. Put everything in my head. Yeah, let's hope you can do it. Okay, thank you very much for this warm-up activity. Now I give floor to my colleague, Marina. Baiba, sorry.
Hello, my name is Baiva Barbela, and today I will tell you about the eligibility of costs within your project. So it is very important to follow the sound financial management rule. Everything must be in balance, economy, efficiency, and effectiveness within your project. Eligibility of costs, it's very important, so you have to be sure that your costs are directly related to the project activities and they are planned in the project. Eligibility of costs must be incurred by the project partners and reported under correct budget lines. Expenditures has to be paid out from the project partner accounts, and they have to be paid out within the project duration. There are only some exceptions mentioned in our program manual that could be done also after or before the project duration, such as, for example, preparation costs or some financial costs, financial service costs for Lithuanian partners. And you have to be sure that your costs do not exceed total project budget and also partner budget. For yourself monitoring, I would like to recommend you to check each partner, to check your expenses in EMS system. It is possible to do under project living table and partner living table. If you are partner, you can check your costs under partner living tables. You will see if you are not exceeding any of your planned budget lines, and if you are lead partner, you have to be sure that all total project budget lines are not exceeded, and if does, so you have to contact with GS and to solve this issue. So, and regarding the procurement procedure, please follow the national rules. Please avoid artificial splitting of contracts. Please ensure transparency in your documents. Please document all the process and decision-making process. And if there will be any deductions within your procurement, they will be done according to the guidance. So costs must be proved by the delivery of works, services and supplies. And last week our colleague also mentioned how to add these proofs to your reports. Regarding advance payments, they are eligible only after partial or full delivery of the goods or services provided within the contract, and also in case in one-third of advance payment from the contract is paid as advance payment and it is foreseen in your contract, you don't have to have proofs for partial or full delivery to report these costs. But if these costs exceed one-third of the contract, so please then we would like to advise you to report this cost within the reporting period that where costs were paid out, and then if they are too high or exceed the one-third of the contract, so then financial control will postpone some difference that exceeding this threshold. There also are some, I would like to mention which costs are not eligible, so that it's not allowed to report or to cover the cost of fines, financial penalties, or other costs that are connected with this in any legal disputes, some interests of the debt or recoverable VAT and other things. You have to be sure that there is no subcontracting between project partners and staff employment within the project. Please avoid double financing and also avoid corruption and conflict of interests. Also, it is very important to have geographical eligibility. It is not considered if you are participating in event for promotional purposes, if you are participating in project, event or event which are organized by MA, GS or FC, or if you are going for some consultation meetings with some of these bodies. And geographical eligibility is considered if the project activity is implemented or partner is located outside of the program area, but it has to be prior approved by the program. Regarding accounting system, I would like to also to remind you that it would be good and it has to be, you have to have separate accounting system or you have to have a specific project accountant code. So for you and for checking the project, it will be easy to check all the costs that are made within the project, and it's possible to select all the costs made within the project and report them correctly. Please also ensure that your reported costs and proofs will be are accordingly. So all the original invoices would be nice to have either stamp, either some project index on them, and all you have to keep your originals of the invoices. It is also very important to have a correct audit trail in your project. So main, of course, lead partner is responsible to ensure that the adequate audit trail is documented at all levels of the project and also at the project partner's expenditures. Lead also partner has to have an overview of the project. He has to know who paid, what was paid, who verified and where the documents are stored, and who is the responsible person from each project partner. Also, I would like to remind you that please keep your documents in safe and orderly manner and keep them at least 5 years after the final payment is made by the MA to the lead partner. And all documents and proofs and project outputs should be archived separately in the project folder in your premises. So who can deduct the costs within your project? So either is it financial control, you can see these deductions in the visible in FC certificate or in your project overview in EMS. It is also possible to be done by managing authority and GS. It is also visible in the EMS section project living tables, and also it is possible to do by certifying authority, and also it is seen in the same section project living table. So be sure, check your expenses and check your EMS information to be on track in your project. Thank you for your attention. Do you have any questions regarding eligibility of costs?
No questions this far, so I think everything was quite clear.
Well, I hope so, yeah, that everything was clear. So then maybe let's start with a small quiz to see how carefully you have been listening to me. Okay, we have like 24 participants in our quiz, so maybe let's start with the questions. Sorry, some technical issues? Without any. No. Okay, so let's check this question. So the project ends on 31st of October and partner reported cost for financial control services. Payment of 2,500 were made on 28th of November. So the question is, are these costs eligible? Well, I'm glad that most of you said that that's no. Yes, you are correct. These costs are not eligible because the payment is done too late. It's an exception as it is financial control services in Lithuania, but it is still done after end of the project and not within 10 days after the end of the project. So the next question. The project ends on 31st of October. Project partner reported cost for purchasing equipment for project needs, and payment was done on 7th of November. Are these costs eligible? Please don't pay attention to the picture. Just check the question. So yes, we can see the correct answer. Correct answer is no, these costs are not eligible. Also, as in a previous question, the costs are the payment is made too late after the end of the project, and this payment is for equipment, and it is not any of exceptions within the eligibility of costs that could be made after the end of the project. So the next question, project partner declared cost for financial control. Will all these declared costs be eligible? So we can see the answer, and correct answer is no. These costs all the declared costs won't be eligible, because as you can see in the picture that this project partner has declared more expenditures than they have planned within the project. If it is the last reporting period, so it is too late to make any changes within the project, and the difference will be ineligible for this cost. And if it's not the last period, then you have to either talk with your lead partner to check maybe some other partners has any savings in their projects and to make any changes within the project if it's possible. If no, so the difference and exceeding amounts from the budget lines will be ineligible. Let's move to the next question. So there's the situation. Project partner paid out advance payment in the first reporting period, and for furniture, it was planned in application form. Total contract amount is 3,000. The service provider did not deliver all furniture. Final delivery planned in the second reporting period. What costs would you report in first reporting period? Either it will be 1/3 of contract amount, either it will be 50% of advance payment, or you will report all amount of payment and then FC will postpone the difference of these costs. Okay, I see that there's like different opinions regarding this question. Yes, this is quite tricky situations within our projects. Of course, it is allowed to report 1/3 and 1/3 of the advance payment, but in this case, this 1/3 is exceeding the 1/3 of the contract amount. So in this case, the best solution for you and for everyone would be that you are reporting in the first reporting period all amount that was paid out in this first reporting period, and then this difference, which are higher than the threshold of this 1/3 from this 3,000, will be postponed by the FCs, and then it will be, if everything is fine, then in the next reporting periods, FC will approve these costs later. And then the question, the project lead partner rented from the project partner 3 premises for project kickoff meeting. Are these costs eligible? So we can see also some small difference between the answers, but the correct answer is no, these costs are not eligible because it is not allowed to contracting between partners. So lead partner should rent some premises from any other service providers, but not from the partners. So we can see the most difficult questions, top questions, okay.
Yeah, maybe in the meanwhile we have received a few questions, so we will answer them after, please.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Congrats to the Elita, who is the winner of this quest. She's answered 5 from 5 answers. Congrats. And yes, the hardest question was about the advance payment. Yes, if you have advance payment in your project and you want to report it, please check again this task or check the program manual or consult GS before you are doing this. So then the questions, yes, we have some questions.
Yeah, we have received a few questions. So first of them is regarding digital documents. Egle asks, our organization is working with digital documents. Is it fine for the project that we will keep just digital versions of project documents?
Yes, of course, if you have everything in digital, so it's fine that you are keeping these documents in digital version. Just make sure that you have safe place to store these documents.
Yes, and that these documents are originals, not digitalized copies of paper documents.
Yes.
Then Diana's question, I think, is more relevant for next presentation, so we will save it for next presentation. And the third, Deimantas question, is regarding financial control costs in Lithuania. So she's asking, you mentioned an exception of financial control costs for Lithuanian partners. Please elaborate about the final payment for financial control after the project ends. What is the deadline?
So the deadline is 10 days after the end of the project. So if, for example, you have, in this task, for example, you have the latest date for the project 31st of October, so then it means that 10 of November will be the last payment day for this FC services. Working days, sorry, yes, 10 working days. So, but make sure that you are doing that. Sometimes also, if you are doing in the last day these payments, you have to be sure that sometimes banks also doesn't work so quickly. So better to have time reserved for this cost, so we don't have any issues with that. Thank you. Okay, I'm giving floor to my colleague Gintz.
Hello, everybody. My name is Gins Pipkis. I will talk about budget lines. So let's start. First thing to mention is that this is a shorter version of our presentations, which were sent out for all lead partners of implementing projects. We adjusted this for this webinar purposes, so it will be a little bit easier for you to absorb the information. So if you want more information, you can also check those original slides. So first slide. First thing which I want to mention is that staff costs of staff, there is two methods, flat rate and direct cost, and you cannot change those methods if your projects were approved. So if you had a flat rate, you must stick to that, and if you have I understand this, we have some technical problems with presentation, yeah? That's my other. Yeah, okay, so now you're also able to see the slides. In case you have the direct cost, for indirect costs, you still have a chance to change methods of direct costs. One thing which I have to stress again and again, it's that in case of flat rate, you don't have to, it's calculated automatically as a proportion of your direct costs, 15% of your costs, whatever you have reported in a specific period. And you can spend it as you need, and you don't have to keep any documentation of these costs. We will not ask you that, so people still asking questions about those. So every time we confirm, yeah, we're not going to ask, and during all those two calls previous, we never did that. Let's talk about real cost methods. So formally, in manuals, there is 4 methods, but it's full-time, part-time, and part-time also is divided in 3 under methods, if you can call them. So it's part-time is fixed percentage, contracted on hourly basis, and there is one third one, which we even not going to talk about today because we strongly not suggest to choose it. We had some experience in these previous projects. This method do not work in our environment, if I can say that. We had a lot of issues with that and also ineligible costs. So we still, even if you have foreseen it, we strongly suggest not to use that and contact your project manager and to arrange the ways how you can change the method. General rules which applies to all of the methods, whatever you choose. You still have to use actual salary rate, and unjustified different hourly rates is not considered acceptable for the same responsibilities. So if in an institution you getting one remuneration rate and project there is foreseen something different, project itself is not justification for those rates. It's have to be connected with the contract and with your original duties. Another thing which is, as a general rule, which applies to every method is that there could be a lot of situations when your costs are paid between the periods. For instance, you paid wage in the end of reporting period, but taxes in the next one. So our rule says that you have to report these costs when the final payment is done. So it often means that if you pay taxes in the next reporting period, you should also report all the related costs about this month, probably in the next reporting period. Documentation, what you're gonna need for, it depends on the method, but most of the documentation is still the same. So for full-time, of course, employment contract, that's the base of everything, and this rate should match whatever contract, whatever is stated there. In full-time case, it will be comparably easy because all costs, whatever are foreseen, if are paid in contract, are paid out, they also should be eligible. There should be also a job description with the duties, whatever person is performing in the project. Of course, payment documents like pay slips, proof of payments. And you don't have to have official program timesheets. You still have to fill whatever the state requires, or institution, but no program timesheets. In case you have part assignment, so as example, for instance, 40% of your workload you work for a project, you need specific document where this is stated. Additionally to all documents which already I mentioned, and also if you have such document and you apply this method, you don't have to fill the timesheets. So you just apply 40% of your overall wage and report it to the project. Also very easy way to report staff costs. The last method which we suggest is contracted on an hourly basis. So that means that you need, your hourly rate should be stated in the contract, whatever is there, but please remember about this actual salary rate. So FC can ask you to prove that this actual rate is real, and to, for instance, if you work before in the same institution on different contracts, they can ask that. And if there would be a difference, that could create a problem. This document definitely should clearly state the hourly rate. And also you should submit all the documentation about full working time in institution together with supporting documents. And in this case, you also must have official timesheets of program, especially if you make also do another task in the institution. that would be it about flat rate, no, about personal costs and personal flat rate. One more thing which I wanted to mention regarding in relation to the questions which were asked. I stated that these taxes should be reported in the next reporting period, but this is not going to apply for the last reporting period. So if the project ends, there is no more exceptions, and you should manage your planning and project management in such ways that you manage to pay out the costs in the project time frame, also the taxes. So yeah, we went back to that slide. Now about next budget line, office administration. This is also a flat rate. So it means it's calculated automatically as 15% from your personal cost. Again, for most of you, some institutions didn't choose it that they chose, but for most of you it applies. So whatever you have in the personal costs, additional 15% to that will be calculated, and it's supposed to cover all your administration needs. In the slide, you can see the typical list of costs which they should cover. And you cannot report these kinds of costs in any another budget line, even if you have foreseen this, because this budget line is meant to cover those costs for you. It's also a possibility for you to cover some unforeseen small costs which are not foreseen in the project, but occur to you, and maybe you don't want to make changes in the project application form in order to reimburse it. So typically, this costs will be bigger than your actual costs, and you can use this return money for your so your organization can cover these additional costs which occurred. Next budget line about travel and accommodation. So first of all, this budget line is for your employees of institution. If it's specifically stated in your project application, also for target auditory, which was foreseen. So it's costs of employees when they travel, and which should be reimbursed. Main documents also are seen on the slide. So it's agenda of event, conference, all invoices, proof of payment, and travel reports in the form whatever is required by national legislation. Next, we're going to talk about eligibility of costs for external expertise and service costs, but we will shortly come back to the budget line of travel, because these two budget lines are somehow similar in regarding supporting documents. So for external expertise, it's everything which you procure externally, except specifically stated equipment and infrastructure. So of course you have to do procurement. Then you have to store those outputs, whatever you procured and it was delivered to you. This proved itself as a potential problem for us in the past. So we want to again remind you so that all developed documents like for studies, researches, programs, even presentations should be kept for reporting purposes, and you should submit also it to us so we can as a proof of delivery. Also information materials, if you paid for articles or recordings or TV broadcasts, also should be kept, and in case of broadcast, recordings itself should be taken and kept for reporting purposes too. Similarly for CDs, it also makes sense to count the users or viewers of information which you provided. For instance, if you know you paid for some publicity events and you can somehow find out how many people seen that also will be useful for you for reporting. Again, general rules when to report it for these two budget lines, travel and accommodation and external expertise, it's that costs for organization and the participation of events have to be reported in the reporting period when the event took place, but they cannot be reported retrogressively, which means that if if you're paying in advance for some tickets, it's possible to report it in the reporting period when actually this event will take place. This is connected with, because especially now we are not sure that how or any travel plans could even take place. So only after the event takes place, these costs are reported and reimbursed. What is meant by retrogressively? It means you cannot go back to previous reporting period and report additional costs. If you didn't report it then, so in some cases you're allowed to report it in the next one, but you cannot just remember and report the event which took actually place in previous report and report it now. This slide illustrates the same thing. So there's another way of settling this. So there could be potentially a situation when an event takes place in the end of reporting period, but it takes some time after you finalize all your documents. For instance, you submit all the documents to your bookkeeping, and only then they paid you back. In such situation, then you should report those costs only when this final settling of accounts, when you get reimbursed from an institution occurred, and only then you can formally report it in the progress report or partner report. Budget line external expertise, documentation which you should have. So of course, it's list of participants in case of, for instance, meetings, which is very common cost position. This budget line. Also photos of events, again the same meetings, presentations, public events. Handouts, whatever you prepared. I already mentioned presentations. Of course, agenda. If there are after meetings there are some memos or minutes, that should be also submitted. Another important thing to remember is regarding the events or meetings. It's fine that you provide the catering costs, but and if it's foreseen in the project application. But remember the rules which we have that lunch could be eligible only if meetings are above 6 hours, and dinner is only eligible if the event takes place more than 2 days. So keep it in mind, it's an important rule, and time to time it's not observed and it could create you an ineligible costs. Budget line, equipment and infrastructure. Of course, so it's self-explanatory, more or less. Whatever you have foreseen in those budget lines, you can procure on contract, and it could be delivered to you. But these budget lines typically are much more expensive, so much more attention is paid to them. Therefore, do not make mistakes with procurement. That's a common thing which can create problems here. We would, financial control would like to see all full documentation of procurement here, announcements, selections, award procedures, all that should be submitted. Of course, invoices, proof of payment, active delivery, pictures of equipment and work done, especially when they're finished. Other documentation that could be relevant according to national legislation, which means some kind of acceptance documentation, especially for infrastructure. It's not enough, in most cases probably it's not enough that you just sign this delivery act, that everything is delivered. There could also be some specific services like firefighters or building experts or building organizations which have to approve your investments. So if that's required by the law, those documents also should be submitted. Small notice regarding this. In a lot of situations, and for instance for infrastructure and works, you foreseen all the costs, and maybe you even foreseen this specific cost for instance for these fire experts or construction experts, but generally they should be divided and they should be covered from external expertise. So please check how you meant it, and if that's still foreseen, you can make relocations to external expertise. Common mistakes. Use of part-time assignment with a flexible number of hours. This is a cost position, not cost position, but actually method of applying a real cost method in the staff costs, which I don't even mention. But again, I want to stress that if you happens that you have chosen that before, you still have time to change it now, and we strongly suggest you to do it, because from our experience, this really brings a lot of problems, and actually even almost definitely I can say that, because we have just few projects who applied it, and it was, for most of them, it was ineligible cost. Foreseeing a purchase of equipment and software, for instance, in software for development of this service in one cost position under equipment. If the development of software would generally be external expertise, so again, if you have such situation, relocation would be the best solution. That you report costs which should be covered by office administration flat rate costs. For instance, that you covered costs of some stationery which were used for administration. You can still buy stationery for your events, for meetings or conferences, that's fine, but if it's connected to the management, for instance, that should be covered by office administration flat rate. Reporting the travel cost related to the one event in different periods. This is a little bit tricky, but in most cases, yeah, it will not be eligible, because first rule, you have to report it when the event took place, or another rule, when the final finalization of all documentation took place. It's one or another. Rent of transportation reported in budget line travel and accommodation instead of external expertise. If you are, it should be actually distinguished. If it's meant rent of, in most cases, for instance, buses. Yeah, if you rent bus, it should be procurement. You procure it, you have a winner, and you conclude the service and you can use the service. But again, if you have this procurement, it most likely will be external expertise. If you are just one person and you're going to the business trip, and for instance, by some occasion you have to rent a car, and you report it in to your institution as part of this, in Latvian it would be avans norēķins, but as part of your reimbursement of your costs for the trip, in that situation that would be fine. But regarding buses or common transportation, it should be budget line external expertise. Purchase on items of services which are different than stated in application form or specification. So you can buy whatever is stated in application form. There is some room for interpretation, but it's quite limited. So, for instance, it's fine probably if you're buying a laptop and it's also in the you can understand that you're reporting a set computer and mouse, or computer, or some specific related device. But there is only limited ways how to justify. So, if in case it was, for instance, there was, from my experience, there was a situation when it was organization of events, and during organization they also bought a tent. If they would rent a tent, that would be fine, but you cannot buy things from if it was not foreseen. Also about technical specifications, it's you can buy things which are above this technical specification in general terms. So if you have foreseen, for instance, 2 gigabytes, it's fine that you're buying 4 gigabyte computer. But if it's this, you have the lower specifications, or they substantially change, or the quantity change, you should apply for changes. Just incorrect choice of budget lines. Sometimes this is like a rather technical mistake, but it still occurs during reporting that, for instance, it was foreseen in incorrect budget line as equipment, but somehow it's reported under budget line external expertise. So again, just pay attention and be precise. So generally will be it. It's time for questions. I already see a few of those, or we should do quiz before. There's questions.
First, let's start with questions because maybe they might help for quiz also. Yeah. So first question is regarding personnel costs. In case project accountant works in the organization only on project basis, can she work for this project too?
Probably I would need some more information for this specific case, but generally, if you can hire a person on the contract, it's fine. So if the person didn't work before, but there was a gap, and you're hiring it's again okay. It's rather a question of method which you choose. So short answer would be it's possible, but there could be situations which create problems. For instance, she cannot work parallelly in different, she cannot work for the institution and report their costs in the staff costs and also in external expertise, yeah, as an expert and a staff cost member. But generally, yes, if there is person working just on and off and you're hiring them and all procedures and requirements of the law are followed, it's most likely will be fine. It's rather method of reimbursement.
Okay, the next question, can expenditures incurred in previous project periods but not reported be reported in later periods?
Not really. So this is an important rule. Again, there's a few exceptions which I talked and mentioned before. So it's these travel costs which could be later on. But general rule is that for the rest of costs, no. Especially if it's submitted and approved, there is no way you can include it. I didn't mention that in the project, but in our there is such thing as this postponed costs, sitting ducks. We have term sitting ducks. So there's possibility that you report costs to us, to FC, and some costs they do not agree, and they are kind of put it on the pending stage. We call it sitting ducks. In such case, yes, the sitting ducks can be bring back in the next reporting period when more information is received or you have proof of delivery or something like that. But if you never reported and in third reporting period you came up with some costs which could be reported in the first one, no, it's not possible.
Okay, and then the last question from project which is in the reserve list. They say activity of building infrastructure foreseen in the application form has already started. Will infrastructure costs be considered as eligible?
This is a tricky situation. Typically, it's eligibility of course starts from the start of the project. So if you are on the reserve list, I assume that you don't have a contract and also don't have a. But this is very specific. Maybe we should talk more individually because, we should know the details, how it was formalized on the specific status of contract and procurements, and then we can make a decision. So actually, this is an important situation for you. Please contact your project manager because this could be tricky.
Okay, so no further questions at this point, so we can switch to quiz.
Yeah, we can proceed with the quiz. My colleague says that there is one more question, so we can
Yeah, so we can clear the questions. So the last question we answer at this point is regarding staff costs again. Our project application has flat rate for staff costs, but hired project manager as part-time employee directly for our project. How it should be reported?
This is a really good question, actually. So if you choose flat rate, you have to distinguish whatever you report to us, which actually happens automatically as a percentage of your direct costs, and whatever you are paying to your institution. If you have flat rate, we reimburse general costs as a compensation for your personnel. But how, whatever and how you contract them, it's your business. So we are returning, for instance, those 15%, and it should be enough to cover those costs. You don't have to report anything. So, but remember, it's only specifically case of flat rate. We are just reimbursing amount which is stated in the manual and which we think it's typically covers the cost. It could be more or it could be less. So money is all yours, and it's up to you to choose the way how you make actually this reimbursement for your employees. For our purposes, actually, the most important that the works are delivered and project is implemented. I guess now we can proceed with the quiz then. So the first question. In which budget line cost of rent of bus for experience exchange visit for stated target auditory should be reported? So correct answer would be external expertise. I already mentioned this as a typical mistake, so you can see how these typical mistakes can come to life. The justification for this is because even if you are transporting your target auditory, in this case you are renting a bus. So you must have procurement. It should be external service. It could be situations that you already foreseen total amount and you never really thought about details how it could be done. For instance, you foreseen just experience exchange visits for 5,000 and you thought like when it comes closer you will decide how you're going to do that. So this is this case when these mistakes arise. Actually, you must have the clear plan. And if you will need a bus, you have so many people, then probably you have to divide these costs and transfer it, make changes in the project and transfer it to external expertise. Yeah. Next question. From which budget line costs of face masks used in the meetings and public events should be reimbursed? Time is up. Yeah, most of you are correct. It's office administration. There also it could be situations that it could also be from external expertise, but only in case if you have foreseen it. And I don't think that for submitted projects anyone could foresee in COVID situation and also use of face masks. So generally, this kind of costs, as I already mentioned in the presentation, should be covered from whatever program reimburses you for office administration. Next question. If in application form budget line external expertise, only costs for catering for final conference are foreseen, in which budget line costs related to simultaneous translation could be reported? Most of you are correct again. Yeah, those costs cannot be reported under existing description of the cost position. So it's only final conference. It does not necessarily seem that also simulation translation costs could be included. So revise your description of cost positions and see if all details are there. And if it's not, then probably you can again contact your project manager and consider changes. The next question. Fulfillment of program timesheets are necessary if which method of staff cost is chosen? Few more seconds. So this should be easy. Yes, for most of you it is. So it's contracted by hourly basis. For first two options, it's not mandatory. If wage of project manager is paid in the first reporting period, but taxes related to the wage paid in the next reporting period, that would be period number 2, in which reporting period payments of wage should be reported? Again, this is this specific situation which I also mentioned in slides, and if it's splitted, it should be reported together with the last payment. So correct answer will be second reporting period, and most of you were correct. If during fourth reporting period, project partner have found invoice for catering which was paid in the first reporting period but was not included in relevant partner report, and the related partner report was also confirmed by GS, in which reporting period these costs could be reported? This question is very similar to actually your question which you asked already. Again, most of you are correct. It cannot be reported if it's too late. If a report was submitted and it was already approved by GS, costs cannot be added to that. So correct answer is number 4. We have a winner. So there's one person who knew it all and also knew it very quickly. So it's Liga. Congratulations. I guess that would be all from our side, and I invite my colleague Marina. She will talk about or we will have branch chat?
Now we will have a little comfort break. We are well ahead of time. So let's take 15 minutes off and let's resume at 11 o'clock for Marina to continue and finish our webinar.
We are ready to start again. We received one more question. So I will read the question. Our expenditures of office and administration costs are lesser than calculated by reporting system. How to report and account the difference? This is perfectly normal situation. For some project partners it could be less, for some could be more. We are reimbursing on average basis 15%, and it should be enough for you to cover these costs. In some cases you will be in pluses and some in minuses, so you don't have to report anything. It's up to you for your internal accounting, but we cannot pay more and we cannot pay less, so you will get those 15%, and you don't have to do anything, but generally it should be enough for you to compensate those additional costs.
Thank you, Gins. Now we came to presentation about reporting. My name is Marina Gnedova, and I will tell you about reporting in EMS, namely how to be prepared for reporting in EMS, what types of reports we have, and how to avoid most common mistakes in reporting. Today I will not stick with the technical information how to create a report and which buttons to press in EMS, because all detailed instructions are available in the guidance how to implement project via EMS, and also in a presentation that is available on our website. So let's start. Before you start reporting, there is a task for lead partner to check whether section supplementary information in EMS is filled in. Please check if section project management contains information on lead partner's project management staff, if there is a bank account declared of the lead partner that the program will use for the program payments, specify financial control institution title for Lithuanian partners, and the most important subsection is a user assignment. In this section, the lead partner gives access for all project partners to the reports. Please check this subsection very carefully and attach a copy of signed partnership agreement. On this slide, you see how reporting looks in EMS. Of course, most of you already know how it looks like, have entered your projects and saw reporting. And this is the first point I would like to stress, that please use guidance how to implement project via EMS when you prepare reports. There are detailed instructions, technical, practical things, and this document will help you a lot. And below you see the link that this document is available on our webpage. One more technical thing to remind you that in EMS each project partner sees only own partner report, but the lead partner can select two roles, either PP or LP. If role PP is selected, then the lead partner sees own partner report. If lead partner wants to see all reports, project consolidated report, own partner report, and reports of all partners, please select role LP. There are three types of reports in our program. The first one is a project partner report that has to be prepared by every partner, and it contains content part on implemented activities deliverables on partner level, and also there is a financial part where each partner reports its expenditures. The partner report is always certified by financial control. The second report is consolidated progress report that has also content part, but already on project level about all works done by all partners for the respective period. And financial part where the lead partner attaches financial certificates. The consolidated progress report serves as basis for payments from the program to the lead partner. And the final report is a content report that has summarized information on all implemented activities, deliverables, and project main outputs at project level, and has to be submitted with the last consolidated report. General tips for reporting. What we observe sorry. what we what we observe during checking of partner reports and consolidated reports. First of all, please don't delay. Reporting takes time. Prepare reports on time and submit to financial controllers and to Joint Secretariat. Always prepare reports in consequent order for the first period, second period, and so on. Don't forget also to prepare reports for period 0. Actually, this is what you have to start with now. Please check if you have expenses for 0 period, then submit report to financial control. If you don't have any expenses for 0 period, then partner submits report to the lead partner. But this is exception just for 0 period, when report with 0 expenses can be submitted to lead partner. But for partner reports with 0 expenses for all other periods, these reports have to be submitted to financial control. Don't delay submission of clarifications to financial control and GS. And always carefully check financial controller's certificate in regards to costs. Either they are confirmed, postponed, or ineligible. So let's start with the partner report. As I already mentioned before, there are 2 big parts. It's kind of very easy. Firstly, each partner has to fill in content part, to provide information on progress made by project partner in a relevant reporting period, and attach evidences for any activities, deliverables implemented, photos, list of participants, prepared materials, and so on. And then in financial part, each partner reports expenditure by attaching financial documents, invoices, procurement documents, and so on. Again, as I mentioned, I will not tell you in details how to fill in the report, particular fields, but let's concentrate on tips how to avoid mistakes, what we observe on, during our everyday work with the reports, and we will advise how to work better, how to prepare better reports. So for the partner report, please always provide exhaustive information, not just few sentences that all activities implemented within period and that's it. No, we need more information, what exactly has been done by partner. Specify values of target groups and describe them. Describe minor changes and deviations occurred in the reporting period. Provide information on the achieved deliverables and outputs. There are a few points that I would like to mention from practice, that if achievement of deliverable is delayed, please describe reason why it is so and provide provisional time frame when it will be achieved. If deliverable is achieved by cost, but costs will be included in the next report, please also specify this fact in the description of deliverable. If deliverable reported in previous period, but costs reported in current, then also please inform about that. We are reading the report, financial controllers, Joint Secretariat, and we must obtain clear and precise information what has been done. The financial part, how to report costs. Just go to section list of expenditure, open form for reporting costs, enter amount, and describe costs. Actually, this is the main point what I would like to stress, because quite often we receive reported costs but without description, and then it's very hard to understand why partner reports costs, with which activities and deliverables these costs are connected. So you see on the screen the arrows where information should be put. So please describe who provided services or products, how the services and products are linked to deliverables and activities, why they were needed. Of course, when reporting, please check if costs are planned in the application form. If not, please consult with the lead partner, with the GS if you have questions, and request project changes if necessary. Provide full pack of supporting documents, procurement, financial, and so on. Also, quite a lot of common mistakes we see for supporting documents. And with this slide, I would like to remind you how to correctly upload supporting documents in partner report. So in section Project Main Outputs, always attach final versions of documents for main outputs. When you're reporting per work package, please provide documents for each deliverables, list of participants from events, photos, research, materials, and so on. In list of expenditure, as I already mentioned, please attach only financial documents, procurement documents that would justify reported costs. In attachments, you can use this section if there are documents that cannot be uploaded in above-mentioned sections. And also, to simplify our work when we are checking reports, please name files correctly. The file name shall contain number of deliverable and topic of document attached. The next report, it's about consolidated progress report that contains, again, from the content part, but already at project level. At this stage, lead partner prepares information on the progress made in the project within the reporting period, specifies achieved outputs, deliverables, and so on. And again, in this report, lead partner attaches or specify reference to supporting documents, photos, list of participants, and so on. In the consolidated progress report, you don't need to report costs anymore. You will have to attach financial controller certificates issued for partner reports. Content part or section report in consolidated report. Please specify information on project progress in reporting period, achieved project-specific objectives, indicate problems or solutions found, if any happened during the period, and correctly attach financial certificates. Tips, what we can share with you. First of all, please pay attention and check whether you provided full and clear summary of work done by partners during reporting period. Again, the same command that it's not enough just to specify that few activities have been implemented and that's it. No, please provide exhaustive and clear information. Specify values of each target groups and describe them, because quite often we receive consolidated reports with empty fields. Target groups are marked as reached. Some values are provided, specified, but they are not described at all. Then we have a question whether target groups were reached at all. Indicate problem solutions found at project level. And as I mentioned already, that don't forget to attach partner certificates. Sometimes we get consolidated reports when certificates are not attached at all, or they are attached incorrectly. On this slide, you see marked with the red places where you have to check. The second column presents you titles of certificates, and here you can check whether each partner's certificate is available. And on the right side, you see marked ticks. So for each partner report certificate, the lead partner has to press tick. Then these certificates will be attached to consolidated report and cost will be included. Of course, if after submission we notify that certificates are attached incorrectly, we revert back report for correction. That's not a problem, but this all takes time. If report is submitted correctly, then we will be able to pay money quicker. Reporting in work packages, again, provide information on implemented activities, deliverables, project main outputs, problems or minor changes per each work package at project level. When reporting, be specific and precise. Provide information on achieved deliverables, minor changes or deviations occurred, indicate responsible partners. It's not sufficient to specify just few words. And I would like to draw attention that indication of responsible partners helps us a lot during check of report. Then we know which partner report we have to open and to see additional information or cost reported. The second tip, always check and if information provided on reached deliverable or output matches with the information planned in the application form. Because always, sometimes we notice situations when partner describes some implemented activity deliverable, and we understand that actually it's not the same that was planned in the application form. Then again, we have questions and we have to ask for clarifications. Describe achievements only for particular period and don't mix with work done earlier. So if you are reporting for the second period, for example, then describe achieved deliverable particularly in the second period, because otherwise all other information added confuse us. Indicate progress in achievement of deliverables rather than making reference to partner reports. This is also a quite common thing. When we open consolidated report, there is a planned deliverable. One word is written achieved. Please see project partners 2 report. So sure, we will open this report, but we will need to spend more time to find this reported deliverable, supporting documents. So please copy information from partner report directly to consolidated report, so that for us we have full picture of all work done. Fourth point, clearly describe progress for deliverables that are partly reported. For example, 10 meetings are planned in the application form, 2 happened before, and 4 you are reporting now, and some will happen for the next period. So please specify all this, history, yeah? How many were implemented and reported before, you are reporting now, and what will be left for the next. Because in such way we understand what is the status for deliverable and what we need to check. Specify correct statuses of activities, deliverables, outputs, and work packages. Someone may say that this is technical thing and maybe it's not description part. Sure, but again, this minor thing helps us a lot to understand where the project is, whether this particular activity, deliverable, or output is implemented or not started or has been delayed, and we may pay attention that there might be some problems. Supporting documents for consolidated progress report. In section project main outputs, in work packages implementation, investment, only final versions of documents for achieved project main outputs. For other work packages, when you are reporting deliverables, please attach content supporting documents for events, list of participants, materials, photos, and so on. In attachments, there can be other documents, for example, confirmation letter. You can put it here. As I mentioned already, for partner report, also for consolidated report, follow rules on creation of files. If you are making new file and attaching to consolidated report, please name it like with a title of deliverable, topic of the document, and responsible partner. That would be better for us to understand what to check. There are cases when documents already are uploaded in partner reports. For sure, you don't need to upload it once again. Just very clearly and correctly specify path to this document in partner report. For example, supporting documents for organized seminar are available in Project Partner 2 report, section report, deliverable, this and that. So this is ideal template how it should like. But in most cases, we get reports when it's written supporting documents for seminar are in partner report. And then if we have 7 project partners, so we have to open all 7 reports and to find these documents. These also take time. So now tips based on common mistakes for supporting documents. Once again to stress, and actually these tips are for both for partner report and for consolidated progress report. Check if supporting documents for achieved deliverables, outputs, and reported costs in partner report are attached. That full set of documents, not just one of you. Because sometimes we open, let's say, partner report for reported costs, and we see just invoice. And then we write clarification questions. Please provide procurement documents, some bookkeeping documents, agreement. So just have a self-check whether all documents are attached. Attach documents in correct places and name them correctly. Don't attach all documents in section attachments, because we also have cases when there are no documents attached in report, but all of them are available in section attachments. There are hundreds of them, and especially when these files are named in some national languages or with some unclear titles, Doc 1, Doc 2, then you can imagine how much time it will take to check all these documents. In Consolidated Progress Report, provide clear links to documents available in partner reports. I already provided you with templates, so it would be good that if you use it in practice. Always attach documents provided during clarification process for GSFC to the report. It's not enough to send clarification documents in email. Please attach them to report, because if you have sent something to financial controllers and didn't attach to partner report, the Secretariat, when checking consolidated report, will ask once again the same questions, the same documents. Provide active links to project online deliverables, for example, databases, websites, articles in media. If you cannot provide online links, then attach print screens. Very common mistake for confirmation letter. It has to be submitted with each consolidated progress report for each period. This is the main document for the program to make payment to the project. At first 70% payment and then 30% payment. You can attach confirmation letter signed with e-signature in section attachments to consolidate progress report. You can attach a copy of confirmation letter and then send original to Joint Secretariat by post. But we have to receive it. We don't start check of the consolidated report until we receive a confirmation letter. In this slide, I put a print screen because quite often happen mistakes, especially for amounts for ERDF co-financing requested. You see the arrow and print screen from EMS, from project report table, where you have to find the amount which you specify in the confirmation letter. So please remember this technical thing. Final report, for sure, this is very long time for you till a final report, but still some words for you, maybe you will remember. For final report, we have separate template, Word files that you have to fill in and harmonize with Joint Secretariat before attaching to Progress Consolidated Report. Together with the final report, you will need to attach statements after project implementation for each project partner. When filling in final report, please check and be sure that level of achievement of project-specific objectives are fully achieved. If not, then please provide clarification why. Ensure that main outputs achieved, documentation evidences are attached to the report and in supplementary information section outputs. Update project summary and fill in section project results on the program's web page. All these requirements we will check when the final report will be submitted. There is also a link to templates of documents for final report that are available on our web page, and also a link to section in guidance where there is more information about final report. So in case of questions, always be positive, read program manual, read guidance how to implement project via EMS. If you still have questions, don't be shy and write an email or call to join Secretariat. We always will help you with any technical issues, with any questions about reporting. So that's it from my side at this moment. If you have any questions, you are welcome to ask.
For the time being, there is one question received. Likita from audience asks, should the lead partner pre-check project partner's report before it is submitted? What should we recommend them?
If there is a question about lead partner's project partner report, then of course lead partner has to check own partner report before submission. If there is a question that lead partner has to check some other partner's report, then it's not an obligation. There is no such requirement, but it's more about how you build your work within the partnership. If some partner is not confident about content of partner report, especially for the first period or zero period, maybe lead partner can do this favor and check partner report as well, but it's up to you. So that's it. Now it's time to start quiz. My colleague Rita will lead the quiz. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Marina. Hello, everyone. My name is Rita Liepaitė, and I am a project manager in Joint Secretariat. And as all presentations are over and only this last one quiz is left, I suggest to relax and apply and gain knowledge or just check your knowledge during this quiz about reporting. So please do not hesitate and register in Slido. I think the most active people already registered, so let's start. Our first question is, Project Partner 2 didn't have any expenditures for project preparation. Partner report for period 0 must be submitted too. And most of you answered correctly to this question. It should be submitted only to lead partner. The second question is, where in partner report evidence of organized experience exchange visit has to be submitted? Has to be attached. And again, most of you answered correctly. It should be attached in section report under relevant deliverable, as organized experience exchange visit is planned as a deliverable in the project. Yeah. Another question is, a confirmation letter has to be submitted to Joint Secretariat. In which cases? I think it is quite easy question, so maybe you don't need this much time, but it will be very interesting to see the results after a few more seconds. And yes, again, most of you are correct. With every consolidated progress report, confirmation letter has to be submitted. Another question is, which list of partner financial control certificates for consolidated progress report for period 3 is correct? In the first or in the second picture? Or maybe both of them are correct. Actually, the correct is in the first picture because all for the same period project partners reports has to be attached. In the second picture, there were different periods attached, so it is incorrect. So the right answer is in the first picture. Project partner 2 didn't have any expenditures during period 3. Partner report for period 3 must be submitted too. A few more seconds left. You have different opinions, but the correct answer is only to financial control. Please remember that all project partners reports where costs are declared has to be presented to financial control, and only exception is for the period 0. If you have no costs declared, then these project partner reports has to be submitted to lead partner. In which place in MS lead partner has to assign access to reports for project partners? Yes, you were listening very carefully to Marina's presentation, or you know this information. Yes, it should be assigned in supplementary information under user assignment. Next question, in which option reported costs in section list of expenditure of partner report are described correctly? In first picture, in second, or none of them? I think this question was also quite easy, and I hope most of you, yes, answered correctly. The correct answer is in the second picture, as all information is described about each deliverable and where this information could be found. What is the correct title of the file attached to partner report? Yes, you are correct. Again, it should be in the name shall contain number of deliverable and topic of the document attached. And the last question is, which of the following shall not be submitted together the financial consolidated report? Please pay attention, shall not be submitted together with the final consolidated report. Your opinions very split on the last question, and the right answer is partner's declaration, because partner's declaration has to be submitted with the application form at the beginning of the project. So we can see who is the winner of this quiz, and thank you for participating. I'm seeing from the results you are quite good in reporting. Your knowledge are quite good. So congratulations to Viola.
Thank you, Rita. During playing of quiz, we received also one request to remind how to give the access rights to EMS to project partners. So Marina, please remind us this.
Thank you, Zanda. Can you show a slide, please? Is it visible? I opened the same slide what I showed you in the beginning. So the lead partner has to assign user rights for each project partner in section supplementary information, and in subsection user assignment there are print screens how these titles of these subsections look like. So find user assignment, find particular partner that still don't have access. Project partner representative has to be registered in EMS and has to give to the lead partner username. And then the lead partner types username in section user assignment and gives a user rights for this particular user of the project partner. Detailed information is in guidance. You can find it before section about partner reports. There are detailed instructions. That's it. Okay. There is another question. I don't see section supplementary information. No, that's already a specific question for your project. Maybe you can write me an email about EMS, marina.gnedova@varam.gov.lv, and then I will check your project and will consult you on your particular case. Thank you.
Thank you, Marina. Thank you, colleagues, for presentations. We will take questions on Slido for another 15 minutes until 12 o'clock, and we'll answer them on slido.com. Presentations and recording of today's event will be available at the link where presentations were put before. And once again, I will send this link when presentations and recording from today will be uploaded. But you can start watching today's recording of today's webinar immediately after it finishes on the link, YouTube link that was sent to you. We are planning a few more thematic seminars. Most likely it will be in online form next year. Don't worry, we will send email to all of you and notify when that will happen. Also, I would like to invite today's winners, Elita, Liga, and Viola, sent me email with address, so we can send you some surprise gift from the program. And I would like to thank you very much for watching today, active participation in quiz, and I hope you fulfill your wish for new knowledge today. And I hope we will have less mistakes received from your side, and your project implementation will be more smoothly and more perfect. Thank you once again for watching. Goodbye.